Amazon just dropped a bombshell. Starting in January, all employees must return to the office 5 days a week. And just when everyone thought remote work was here to stay, Amazon's decision has sent ripples through the tech world. That's why we are going to discuss how we got here, what people are saying about this, and what this means for AWS's future. If you're in this industry, this is going to have a direct impact on you, so I'll be breaking down exactly what this means for you. So, after March 2020, companies worldwide were forced to adopt remote working models, almost overnight. As lockdowns were implemented, businesses scrambled to set up virtual offices, and employees adapted to working from home. This sudden shift demonstrated that many jobs could be performed effectively away from the office. Tech giants like Amazon, Google, and Facebook were among the first to send their employees home. These companies already had the digital infrastructure in place, so they were well positioned to transition to remote work. As the pandemic wore on, many employees began to enjoy this flexibility and work-life balance that remote work offered. And we then hit a turning point where companies began to grapple with the question of how to bring employees back to the office. You see, they're all locked in to leases for their huge office spaces on long-term contracts, so this remote working couldn't last forever. Therefore, many opted for hybrid models, so they allowed employees to split their time between home and the office. And this has become the industry standard now. Amazon initially followed this trend, requiring employees to be in the office at least 3 days a week. Until recently, CEO Andy Jassy announced that starting in January 2025, Amazon employees will be required to return to the office 5 days a week. Jassy justified this decision by saying it would lead to better collaboration and innovation, improved learning and mentoring opportunities, stronger team connections, and reinforcement of company culture. In other words, a whole load of... Now, this move aligns with Jassy's previous statements, where he suggested that those unable to commit to office work might not have a future at AWS. Now, as you can imagine, it sparked significant backlash from Amazon employees and the public. An AWS engineer posted on LinkedIn, "Amazon has announced a 5-day RTO, which is unfortunate because I'm interested in working for a living, not live action role playing and virtue signaling. If you have remote opportunities available, please message me. Nothing is off the table. I'd rather go back to school than work in the office again." On Reddit, an apparent Amazon employee of 3 years said they are probably going to soft quit and get a new job. Some speculate that this mandate is a sneaky attempt to reduce headcount. This is a layoff in disguise. Return to the office or you're fired, and we don't have to pay any severance or unemployment. Another user echoed this by saying soft layoffs. The layoffs come if they don't hit the firing numbers that they're looking for. I think you can tell that it's obviously not been welcomed at all. And from what I've read, many are arguing flexible work arrangements is the key to retaining top talent and leads to better productivity overall. That's in direct contradiction to what Andy Jassy is saying. So, who is right? A Stanford University study found that employees who spend 2 days a week working from home are just as productive as those reporting to the office full-time. On the surface, that says hybrid work model is probably more optimal, but I think it's more nuanced than that. For roles that require frequent brainstorming and team collaboration, in-person work might indeed boost productivity, while other roles that primarily involve independent work, hybrid models might be more productive by reducing distractions and commute time. What do we know for sure is employee satisfaction is obviously going to be affected negatively in a major way. Many have restructured their lives around remote work, so a return to full-time office will disrupt this balance, potentially leading to decreased job satisfaction. A study revealed that long commutes have been shown to negatively impact job satisfaction and overall well-being. Not that you needed a study to prove that. Everyone hates commuting to work. So, what's the potential impact of this for Amazon long term? Does this ruin their ability to attract and retain top talent? Well, Professor Nick Bloom estimates that 30% of Amazon staff will quit over this decision. I can attest to this myself. If I was ever to go back to full-time employment, I'd never consider any role other than fully remote. It's something that I'd never compromise on. Think about it. If you're between the ages of 30 and 50, juggling your career with family responsibilities. You don't want to commute to work and be in an office when you've proved over the last few years you can do your job from the comfort of your home. So you're likely to start looking for jobs elsewhere. It makes sense. But remember, this is only for the best talent because they receive the most offers from competitors and are used to be able to pick and choose the benefits that they want. Amazon's mandate also restricts them to hiring to local talent or those willing to relocate, putting them at a competitive disadvantage in attracting top talent, especially in high demand fields like cloud engineering. Which reminds me, if you're looking for a place that takes you from someone with no prior experience to job ready cloud engineer in 12 weeks, then consider joining my Cloud Engineer Academy. And don't take my word for it, check out Jay's story, who went from banking to cloud hired in less than 6 months. Links in the description. Now, is Amazon the only company doing the return to office mandate? What are the other top companies doing? Well, Apple, Meta, and Microsoft have adopted hybrid models, typically requiring employees to be in the office 3 days a week. Spotify operates a work from anywhere policy, only asking teams to meet in person for 1 week each year. Google requires most employees to be at the office at least 3 days a week, with some teams having more flexibility. Now, outside the tech industry, companies like PwC and Deloitte have implemented return to office policies. The thing is, in the US, 69% of companies offer some form of flexibility in their working arrangement. However, the change in approach from Amazon, one of the largest employers in the world, could cause more businesses to review their hybrid policies. We're seeing more and more companies make a stark return to being back in the office 5 days a week, which is what the CEO of flexible job site Flexa said. And it's fair to assume many will follow suit. Employees at Manchester United have all been asked to resume working from the office full time. A number of big banks, including Citigroup, HSBC, and Barclays, are also asking more staffers to be present in the office 5 days per week. So, what's my personal takeaway and what does this all mean to you? In my experience, when I was just starting out, I learned so much from being in the office. My manager would encourage me to approach people at their desk, to talk and communicate and to find things out. This hands-on approach helped me grow faster and significantly improve my communication skills. It's much harder to build these real-world connections and grow properly when everyone is remote. For anyone early in their career, I strongly believe they should spend as much time in the office as possible to accelerate their professional development. That said, I understand the challenges for employees, especially around commuting. However, I think there are solutions. Employees could consider moving closer to the offices, or Amazon can provide assistance to those living further away. It's about finding ways to make the in-office experience work rather than avoiding it altogether. Of course, this means Amazon might lose some high-performing talent who prefer remote work, but let's be realistic. Amazon won't be short of people wanting to work for them. They're still one of the most desirable employers in tech. Something that is likely to stop Amazon's mandate and all other companies too is legislation. In the UK, for example, the government is strengthening the right to request flexibility from day one of employment. I guess we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, but I do think there's an element of entitlement in some of the pushback. Consider this: many self-employed people like hairdressers, on-site workers, or taxi drivers have to be at their workplace 5 to 6 times per week or they don't get paid. Now, in comparison, tech workers often enjoy higher salaries, stock options, and great office perks like free coffees, free lunches, etc. And to be honest, this tech culture has become quite relaxed in recent years. And if you're being asked to come in the office 5 days a week, while certainly it's a shift, it isn't unreasonable in the broader context of the working world. Ultimately, Amazon is taking a huge risk in my eyes with this mandate, and time will tell whether this was the right move, and we'll see if other companies follow suit. And if this new return to the office mandate has you questioning your future, then you don't want to miss this video where I reveal the cloud career path that nobody is talking about, the same one that I took when I quit my 6-figure cloud job.